No, I wanted to be a stripper to get money and to fund the transition that I was going to make.
You know something's wrong, but you haven't dealt with it. You know something's up, but you won't address it. Some people call it intuition, but the truth of the matter is, it's God trying to reach across and say to you, brother, you don't have to struggle. Sis, you don't have to struggle anymore.
Tell me a little bit about yourself.
I'm born and raised in Arizona. My family's Hispanic, so I always went to like a Hispanic church. You know, if you get tattoos, that's sinful. Like, you're going to hell. If you get piercings, you know, that's sinful. You're going to hell. So like around like when I was 12, 13 years old, I started struggling a lot with my sexuality. And one of the biggest things that I always asked God was like, well, why me? Like, why do I have to go through this? For the longest time, I fought the idea of being gay. I fought the idea of being homosexual. For the longest time, I fought wanting to transition and becoming female. Because I had all these questions, nobody could answer them. On the outside, I looked okay. I looked like I'm good, straight A's, had good GPA, like I was a good kid. And because I never showed it, literally nobody ever knew. My ideal plan was I wanted to become a stripper. So yeah, like when people like look at me and they're like, oh, like he's so sweet, he's so nice, he wouldn't do anything wrong. I'm like, no, I wanted to be a stripper to get money and to fund the transition that I was gonna make. When I got to that point, that was the second time that I wanted to commit suicide, because I was like, I didn't know how to have a relationship with God. When I started coming to Stonepoint, there was something that was always like on the inside of me. I kept seeing this vision that I would be a husband, and I would have kids. And when I first saw this, I was like, that's funny. But I remember when I first came and I saw Pastor and Pastor Shana walk out, and seeing the way that they carried themselves, the way that they handled God, the way that they handled their relationship with God, I was like, that's someone I can learn from. That's a father. Right. That's what amplified the vision that I was seeing, which is what helped me to stay here. I was like, oh, like that's what I've been looking for somebody new. I never felt rejected. Even though I dated guys, I know that Pastor's seen my boyfriends. Pastor never made me feel condemned. Other churches did. He preaches the truth, and he's always going to do that. He didn't sugarcoat it, but he wasn't harsh about it either. Actually, he was very welcoming. 3 years in, or 2 years in, about there, that's when I met like my wife. We were courting for like almost an entire year. Eventually, like we moved into the process of getting married. She obviously had already like 2 beautiful daughters, and then obviously like we ended up having more kids, and so now we have 4 kids, 4 beautiful girls. And I've been alive for 27 years, and God's made a major impact in my life within the last 3-4 years. And if he did that within that small amount of time, like I can only imagine what he's gonna do with the rest of my life. My name is Chris, and this is how I found my missing piece.